What is going on, college basketball fans? Today we got our Big 12 Big East battle predictions. I'm ready to get right into it. I just want to say subscribe if you guys are new. We do a ton of college basketball content here on the channel, and we got a lot of big stuff coming. You don't want to miss it. Hit that subscribe button and hit that like button if you guys enjoy. Comment down below your predictions for the Big 12 Big East battle. And yeah, guys, let's get started. Alright, so here are our matchups. Our first one is tonight as I'm recording and posting this video, and it is Baylor at Marquette. And Baylor has a deadly trio of guards there with freshman Keontae George. They got LJ Cryer and Adam Flagler, all capable scorers and really good defenders at the guard position. So that's going to be causing some trouble for Marquette's best player and best scorer, Cam Jones. Having those three guards who can all defend is just a Scott Drew team, he's going to have good defensive guards. So that's going to be tough. If Marquette wants to have success in this game and maybe have any chance at winning, I think they're going to need Prosper and also those forwards. They have three pretty good forwards. I think they're going to need to get a lot of scoring out of them because that is really where you need to attack this Baylor team. And I got to go with Baylor to win, though. I think Flo Thamba is going to have a big impact in this game down low, especially on the glass, and they do a lot of pick and rolls, a lot of ball movement, which get him wide open on the rolls, and I think Flo Thamba can have a lot of success in that way. I also really like Caleb Lohner off the bench for Baylor. He has been a really good sixth man for them. When he comes in, he has a good impact defensively and also shooting the rock, passing as well. I'm going to take Baylor by a good margin here on the road at Marquette. So our next game we have, I guess we'll go down this row first is the order it's in. We have Providence at TCU, and interesting game. I mean, this is probably one of the more closer games. I mean, I see Creighton, Texas down there. That's a really good matchup. I cannot wait to get to that one. But Providence at TCU, a good matchup. TCU haven't been as good as we thought they might be this year. They're still pretty good. They're still going to make the tournament, in my opinion. Mike Miles has had a tremendous season. He's one of the better point guards in the country. Eddie Lampkin, I think, has been underwhelming. I thought we'd see, get a lot more from him this year, like a breakout season from what we saw in the tournament from him last year. But still, TCU have really good guard play, and Providence, they have a lot. This is a brand new team for them this year, but they do have some good players. A lot of players that they got throughout the transfer portal. I really like Bryce Hopkins down low. I think that Eddie Lampkin can have a big impact defensively down low in the paint. But I'm going to go TCU at home. I think Mike Miles is the best player on the court, and I also think that TCU has the better, well-rounded team, and they're at home. I got to go with TCU. That puts the Big 12 up on the Big East 2-0 here to start us off. Next up, we got Georgetown at Texas Tech, and I'm not going to spend too much time on this one. I do want to talk a lot about Texas Tech, though, because I am picking them to win. Georgetown just not very good. They lost to Northwestern, and Northwestern just got blown out at home against Pitt, which is not great. That just goes to show you how bad Georgetown really is, and Texas Tech is a really good defensive team. I think the real question here for this game should be, how many points can Georgetown score on Texas Tech's defense in Lubbock, because that environment is going to be electric for Texas Tech, and I don't think Georgetown cracks 50 points. Probably low 40s is what I'm guessing. I mean, we saw what they did to Louisville, and Georgetown, they might be worse than Louisville even. So, we're going to go with Texas Tech here to get the win very easily. Devion Harmon, Daniel Bacho have been really good, pleasant surprises for this Texas Tech team. Also, you got Kevin O'Banner down there as well. Very solid team. They're a great defensive team under Coach Mark Adams. Texas Tech, Big 12 goes up 3-0 on the Big East. Next up, we got Kansas State at Butler, and interesting matchup it is in Butler. I could see this one kind of swinging either way. This is a good matchup. Keontae Johnson has been really good. What a story from him. And Kansas State, they ended up winning that tournament. after his collapse there at Florida and all that. Great story from him. He's averaging like 18 a game, going crazy. He can have a big impact in this game. Also, Marquez Norwell, the point guard for Kansas State, averaging like 8 assists per game. He's only 5'8", pretty fun to watch, and it looks like Kansas State actually, not doing too bad from losing Nigel Pack last season, their star freshman. So, they're not looking too bad at all. But Butler, they do have Jaden Taylor. They do have a pretty decent roster, but I am still going to go with Kansas State to pick up the win. They've showed me more this season than Butler. I do think this one could swing either way, especially because it is in Butler. But give me Kansas State to win this one. And then we're finally to the biggest matchup of the Big 12 Big East battle, in my opinion, and that is Creighton at Texas. I mean, in the new Mackey Arena there at Texas, they blew out Gonzaga. It's going to be another electric environment, top 10 matchup for almost everyone. For some people, it might be even a top 5 matchup. Texas, Tyrese Hunter coming in. He from Iowa State. He has been nothing but great for them so far. Marcus Carr, he's been pretty great. Timmy Allen, I expected a lot more from Timmy Allen so far this year. We'll see if he can pick it up and have a big game. They might need him, but also Texas has Dylan Disso down low, who is a really good paint protector, who has kind of been their 5-man. But Dylan Mitchell, their freshman, he's starting to come into his own. I think he can get going a little bit, but they're going to be going up against some great defenders at Creighton there. Trey Alexander, a really good defensive 2-guard. Arthur Kumula, a really good defensive small forward. Ryan Kalkbrenner, a beast down low, an anchor for this Creighton team that they can rely on. And then Ryan Nimhard and Baylor Shireman are going to be playing their butts off. The only problem with this Creighton team, and it's shown, is their depth. They don't have any depth. They don't have any good bench players, really. They have the one guy who comes off the bench. He can make a 3 or 2, but he's kind of a liability on defense. He comes in and Trey Alexander goes out, and you lose a lot on defense when that happens. So I think Creighton, if they can stay out of foul trouble in this one at Texas, I am going to actually go with the Creighton Blue Jays to pick up the W and give Texas their first loss of the season and their first loss in Mackey Arena. Give me the Blue Jays to win this one. Next up, I should say also Texas or Creighton. This game could go either way, especially in that environment. I could very easily see Texas winning that game. I was 50-50 back and forth on this one, but I went with Creighton. So Big 12 up 4-1 over the Big East. Oklahoma State at UConn. This is more of an easier one, especially at UConn. I got to go with the Huskies. They have been playing amazing basketball recently, and they might be one of the they're definitely one of, but they might be the deepest team in the country. I mean, they have a bench so deep, man, and that's going to do them a lot of good. Sanogo didn't even have that much of an impact in the Iowa State game, and they still won handily. And they won on the glass like 40-18. That was just a crazy number there. Jordan Hawkins, Tristan Newman, but really their bench play: Andre Jackson, Donovan Clingan. These guys have been great off the bench. Hassan Diarra, the transfer from Texas A&M. I mean, you can name any one of these UConn bench players, and you can say, wow, they have had an impact this season. So right away, I'm going to go with UConn to win this game. I will say Oklahoma State, they do have a decent team, especially with Avery Anderson there, which I feel like he's like 28, 30 years old because he's been there forever. Especially I'm a WVU fan, so I definitely feel like Avery Anderson has been there forever, but UConn taking it this one. Big East starting to catch up here, only down 4-2 in the battle. Next up, we got Seton Hall heading into Lawrence, Kansas, heading into Allen Fieldhouse. And Allen Fieldhouse is a really tough place to play. And going off that alone, I'm going to go with Kansas, but I do think they are the more talented team, especially because Seton Hall, they've been struggling. They just lost to Siena. And Shaheen Holloway came out and said, he's like, these dudes, these players, they're coming out here, they don't want to play. And you never really want to hear that from a coach talking about his players. They have struggled, and I don't see them going into Allen Fieldhouse and picking up a W. Jalen Wilson is a matchup problem at 6'8", who can dribble, take you off the drive. He's been improving his shooting. He's not that great at shooting, but he can shoot. Also, Daquan Harris, maybe the best defensive guard in the nation. That dude is really good, and yeah, I think Kansas wins this one big in Allen Fieldhouse. Big 12 up 5-2. Next up, Oklahoma heading into Nova, and Nova's had a very disappointing season, man. Obviously, no Cam Whittemore, their star freshman that was supposed to be coming in. No Justin Moore yet off his injury that he had in the Elite Eight or Final Four last year, and no Jay Wright at head coach. So new team for this Villanova team. They still got Caleb Daniels. They still got Eric Dixon. They still got a solid team and some really good forwards. The problem with this Villanova team has been their guard play. They don't really have that great of guard play. And Grant Sherfield there for Oklahoma, it's kind of been like opposites here. Oklahoma's been getting on a little bit of a run here. They defeated Ole Miss here recently and some other pretty decent teams. Villanova's been losing. They lost to Portland. They lost to Oregon. They just have not been looking good, and Oklahoma's been hot. Oklahoma's been hot recently. I got to go with OU to pick up the W at Villanova. So next up, we got two more matchups, both on December 4th. We got St. John's heading into Ames to face Iowa State. And both these last two matchups, I mean, other than the Creighton, Texas one, might be the ones I'm most excited for. And St. John's at Iowa State. This is going to be St. John's first true test. I know they defeated Syracuse, but Syracuse hasn't, they're not that great this year. But going into Ames, this is going to be a really good test for St. John's. St. John's undefeated at the time I'm recording this video. I think they do play tonight against Long Island. But St. John's, David Jones has been a beast this year, transfer from DePaul. Andre Curbelo has been pretty good for this St. John's team. Of course, he still has the turnover problem, just like he did at Illinois. But he does make plays, and he's worth the turnovers. But if he's got to limit them going into Ames. He's got to limit those turnovers. Got to. But I am going to go... Man... I am going to go with Iowa State to win this one. I think just at home, it's going to be a good environment there in Ames. I could see Caleb Grill get going. He had that really good game against North Carolina, but then he didn't really show up again. But I think at home, in that atmosphere, he's a guy who, when he's hot, he's really hot. So if he gets into one of those games, basketball is a game of runs, and all you need is one of those good runs towards in the second half from Caleb Grill, where he drains 3 threes, and that's a 9-point run right there. So that could be huge. Darren Holmes, though, is the real star for this Iowa State team, and I think he has a big day. Darren Holmes versus David Jones is the matchup to watch. And our last game, we do have West Virginia at Xavier, and this one I'm trying not to be biased because I am a West Virginia fan, but I am going to go with Xavier. This is a really good matchup, though. I'm going to go with Xavier to win at home. Another good environment there, and Coach Bob Huggins, he used to coach at Cincinnati. That Cincinnati Xavier rivalry, he knows what it's like to play at Xavier in a big rivalry. I mean, this isn't a rivalry, but West Virginia coming in, pretty good team. They just beat Florida by 30 points. They played Purdue, within 12. They played Purdue closer than Duke or Gonzaga. So West Virginia, they are a very deep team. Bob Huggins is going to play at least 10 players every game. And they do have some good players in Trey Mitchell, Emmett Matthews, two really good passing forwards who can get their own bucket. You got Keedy Johnson, who is a really good defensive guard, who I think is going to be trying to lock down Colby Jones. I could see us trying to lock down these two really good guards that Xavier has. Also, Jimmy Bell on Jack Nungy. I think that is the matchup to watch. Jimmy Bell had some really good defensive possessions against Zach Edey, and also against Colin Castleton. He held Colin Castleton to 3 points for Florida. So I think on Jack Nungy, Jimmy Bell could have some success. Also, Muhammad Wagi. Of course, I know about every player on West Virginia because I am a fan. I'm really hyped for this game. I think it's going to be a close one. I am going to go with Xavier, but of course I'm rooting for West Virginia. So that puts the Big 12 winning this series 7-3. There are some games that I could see going either way. Like I could see West Virginia Xavier going either way. I could see St. John's Iowa State going either way. I could see Kansas State Butler even really going either way, especially Creighton Texas. That one could go either way. Some really good games. I mean, I could see possibly Providence upsetting TCU or Villanova beating Oklahoma at home, but those two are... I feel pretty confident in my picks in those two. The real swing games are Creighton, Texas, WVU, Xavier, St. John's, Iowa State. I think those ones are the ones that could go either way, but ultimately I have the Big 12 winning the battle 7-3. In this one. Let me know your guys' predictions for the Big 12 Big East battle in the comment section. And drop me a like if you guys enjoyed. And subscribe if you guys are new. Super close to 2,000 subscribers. I greatly appreciate it. Also, follow me on Twitter. We are constantly tweeting college basketball stuff there on the Twitter. And some extra content on there as well. So, yeah, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm out.